This is one of our most useful tools in the house. Yogurts, all kinds of dinners, a lot of stuff you can just walk away from, but one of the things we do with it twice a day, every day, is pasteurize. So you'll see that the timer was set to 35 minutes. Once it reaches its temperature, which is 146 degrees, it'll run for 35 minutes. I tend to put it in when this is already partway warmed up. And then at the end of that time, my only fault as far as the timer goes on this is that it's not a very loud notice when it goes off, so we have to pay very careful attention. But when we're finished, we dump the water, we take the jars out just briefly because some of these, I should explain, there's a silicone ring in here. If we use that silicone ring, it locks too tight when we go from hot to cold, and you have to go from hot to cold for good pasteurization. As such, we don't have the ring in, and if I just tip it, the milk sometimes will leak out. So we take this out, dump it, put it back in, and we refill with as cold as our tap water will go. We could go straight to ice if we had tempered glass, but mason jars are not tempered, so we give it one fill. I turn this down to 32 degrees. Our tap water is typically 75 at the tops during the summer, 65-ish in the winter time. At any rate, filling it one time and letting that run while I go grab the ice cubes from the freezer prevents this from cracking. So key step, so you don't have just glass and milk and water, unless you can find a good tempered glass alternative. If you can, please link it below. We then take 5 ice cube trays. I dump it one more time, put the bottle back in, put the ice cubes in around it, and then once the ice cubes are in, fill it again to the level of the milk, set to 32. This doesn't chill, obviously, but setting it to 32 ensures that it's not going to fight itself with the temperature. And then I top it off with water to the milk line, hit play. It'll actually drop down to about 33.5 degrees to 34 degrees typically, and it'll hold there for quite a long time. I let it sit in that ice water bath for at least 10 minutes, usually a bit longer, because like I said, that'll hold for an hour. I'm here in the room, I don't leave it. If I'm going out, I put it in the fridge, but that ensures that the temperature all the way to the center has chilled. And for USDA guidelines, they want it to be 146 degrees. This is low temperature pasteurization. We like the quality of the milk best this way. I don't taste a difference between raw and low temperature pasteurization. And if you're going to make yogurt, I recommend culturing it in this low temperature pasteurization to keep a small starter on hand. With the regular process to get it to thicken up, you want to actually pasteurize that milk at 180 degrees for 10 minutes, but you're actually intentionally denaturing the protein in that for the yogurt to set to a really thick set. When you do that, the culture in it is not as hearty. So your starter culture will, it's still there, but you lose the quality from one batch to the next. So I keep a separate starter culture in a small jar, and that's on this low temperature pasteurization. But at any rate, from whatever your pasteurization temp down to fridge temp, so under 40, for USDA guidelines, they want that to be less than 5 minutes. Doing what I've just described, it is down to under 40 degrees in less than 5 minutes.